Mhm. Another question. I'm asking so many questions.
Go ahead. I'm sure you're asking questions on behalf of everyone. I think everyone is fascinated.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah. You said that everything outside of a nashr would be considered unauthentic compared to a nashr. Is
Not
that like
compared. Not
Naam?
compared. Everything that is not any recital or qira'ah or verse or anything that's said to be Quran, but if it's not in a nashr, the top scholars count it as not authentic.
Okay, because he counted all the correct authentic ones.
Yes.
Okay, طيب. Okay, inshallah.
Yep.
No.
Ready for the next question?
Yes. One of the meanings of ahruf may be no difference in letter forms and no change in meanings. No difference in letter. No, then that's not a different how. No.
Exactly. It's a non-issue. That means everyone is reading it the same way. So where's the harf? Yeah. So this is just testing, first of all, to see if everyone's awake and not just saying true, true, true. And if everyone understands what it means to be a harf. A harf means that there are at least two ways to either say it or two meanings implied by it or two ways that it's written, but not pronounced differently. Okay, so false, right?
No. One of the meanings of ahruf may be the difference in letter forms, but not in the meanings. The difference in letter forms, not in meanings. Yes, نعم. Like بسطة وبسطة.
Right. So writing the same word, which would be basta or besta, pronounced with a sin, once with a sad, and another place in the Quran would be writing it with a sin. So they have different forms, and they may also be pronounced differently or the same, and the meanings do not differ. Very good. Before we go to the next question, I want to address a question Ali is asking today, and Brother Ali, I believe, asked yesterday about the word Maliki and Maliki, specifically in Al-Fatiha. If you notice that the articulation of Maliki has an extra letter added, okay, to the articulation compared to Malik. And the word Malik, if you compare it to Malik, has one less articulated letter. But that's a difference in articulation and not in letter form. So you want to say, okay, where does this go? Is it the difference in harakas? No, the harakas are the same. Difference in harakas causing a change in meaning? No, with the harakas are not the same. Is there no difference in letter form? Yes, that's correct. There's no difference in letter forms. It was scribed mim, lam, kaf in all the Musahif Uthmaniyah. And no change in meaning? No, that's not correct. Okay, there is a change in meaning. The difference in letter forms, but not the meanings. Anyway, we said this is an impossible situation. The difference in letter forms, no, there's no difference in letter forms. The difference in both letter forms and meaning, no. Bringing words backwards and forwards, no. Adding or removing letters, it may fall here, where it's not only scribed, but it's pronounced, but not necessarily scribed. So if I were to guess, and this is only an educated guess and not confirming, probably adding it to this section where you're articulating a letter and not articulating a letter in each half. Wallahu a'lam, although it's scribed the same way. Another educated guess might be the first one. Nah, but there's a difference in meaning. So I would say that the adding or subtracting of a letter. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Although the examples given by Ibn al-Jazari, all of them were actually scribed differences, but he did not exclude that a letter could be pronounced or not pronounced, but the scripture is the same. Wallahu a'lam. It would be wonderful to ask a scholar who their specialty is Rasm al-Masahif and also has a great handle on Qira'at. And there are such scholars out there. We could possibly ask them a question like that. Okay. So, Brother Wadia, next question, inshallah. Where are we? Yeah.
Yes. One of the meanings of ahruf may be the difference in both letter forms and in meanings. That's correct. An example is أشد منكم وأشد منهم.
Right. SubhanAllah, I think you think the same way of me. When I read a general statement like this, my mind goes blank. My brain stops working. And I go to, okay, I start searching my memory or my notes for examples. Once I find an example that matches this, then I can say if the question is right or wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I understand it more. Okay. One of the meanings of ahruf may be bringing words forward and backwards.
Someone clicked true here. I don't know if that was me, you, or a third person.
That it's true. It's true actually now.
Naam, it is true.
An example. I'm trying to look for an example. Example. I forgot.
For example, the one in Surah Al-Imran, وَقَاتَلُوا وَقُتِلُوا, or وَقُتِلُوا وَقَاتَلُوا.
Oh.
And similarly, a similar phrase, but it's وَيَقْتُلُونَ with a فعل مضارع in Surah Al-Tawbah. فَيَقْتُلُونَ وَيُقْتَلُونَ, or فَيُقْتَلُونَ وَيَقْتُلُونَ.
Okay.
Now, let me answer a question here in the chat box. And Khadija raised her hand and then lowered it. I'm not sure, Khadija Jr., if you'd like to raise your hand again. Zaytuni family is asking, does it, so they're referring to Sister Alia's question about Maliki and Malik, does it fall under a different qira'ah? We haven't talked about qira'at yet. So inshallah, hold on to that question, and I hope to be able to, you will probably, in and of yourself, you'll be able to answer that question once we reach the stage of qira'at. We're still in the stage of understanding what are these 7 ahruf that the Quran will reveal then, inshallah. طيب, تفضل, Brother Wadi', next question.
One of the meanings of ahruf may be adding or removing letters or words. That's correct. An example is the Malik and Malik you just talked about. Or
although let's stick with the examples Ibn Jazari gave, so we're not inserting our opinions into his interpretation. So he had, do you have an example written with you in your note so that you remember?
Yes, وَسَارِعُوا and سَارِعُوا without a waw.
So you have the waw at the beginning of an ayah, the same ayah, or the same ayah without that waw. And there are other examples in your notes, and we talked about yesterday. Okay, excellent. Khadija, it's completely fine to have a wrong answer, because we learn best from wrong answers, and I'll help you through it. If you give a wrong answer and you hear me say, then you just switch the answer to the other option, and then we'll talk about it. So feel free. I don't want to, press you, but feel free to be comfortable, inshallah, in having a discussion, inshallah. Wadi', inshallah, do you not mind if I choose Rayyan, inshallah?
Oh, go ahead, inshallah.
Jazakumullahu khairan. I'm going to lower your hand again, just to remind everyone. If I lower your hand at the end of your turn, it just means we're just rotating turns. So if you want to participate again, raise your hand again. Okay, the hands disappeared. Both Rayyan and Khadija, their hands disappeared. I think I lowered it by mistake. I'm so sorry, Sister Rayyan. Okay, تفضلي أختي ريان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة
وعليكم
الله.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
حياكم الله
الله
جميعا.
يحييك ويبيك.
الله يحفظكم يا رب. The difference in idgham and idgham changes the meaning. That is false.
That's false. How do you know? Did we study something about this?
Yeah, we had the lahn al-khafi. I'm thinking about something totally different.
Right. No, you're right. So now you're bringing information you have from tajweed.
Yeah.
We learned that idgham and idhar is part of the lahn al-khafi,
which doesn't change the ma'na.
It doesn't change the meaning. Very good. You bring the information, you're correct. Absolutely, you're right. And that's a good way of thinking about it. Also, we mentioned, I mentioned a statement Ibn Jazari made after he lists the 7 ahruf or khilafat, and then he said, as for idhar, idgham, mad, tafkhim, tarqiq, they don't even change the meaning, so he didn't count them, and he said if one was to count them, then they fall within the first category. But yes, excellent thinking, mashallah.